Well, hello, welcome back to my channel. Jashana here to talk about a highly anticipated, for me, book. As you know from the title and the thumbnail, we are talking about Jade Legacy today. The official release date was the 30th, November 30th, yesterday, as of the time that I am filming this. I had a NetGalley e-arc that I got last month. I didn't want to start it though until number one, I reread Jade City and Jade War, and then also prior to doing the World Hoppers video where we talked about Jade Legacy predictions, which was like the 14th. I started it like the 16th or something like that, I want to say. So yeah, and I just finished it this past weekend, just in time for the release. So just a general premise for the Greenbone Saga, for anyone who might not know. It is urban fantasy in an Asian-inspired world, East Asian-inspired cultures. We are on the smaller country of Kikon, where jade is a rare and magical gem that is native to Kikon. And most of the people of Kikon, not all of them, but a lot of the people on Kikon can wear and utilize jade to get some basically superhuman abilities. And in Kikon there are clans, which are essentially shadow government, basically running things. There are lots of little clans, but then there are the two main clans which reside in the capital of Janloon, the Mountain Clan and the No Peak Clan. Throughout the series, we are following the Call family of the No Peak Clan. So the series overall is just full of family drama, clan drama, politics within the clans, but then also it does get into larger actual politics with other governments, trade, scheming, strategizing, conspiracies, trying to one-up the other clan, trying to gain more power. Think something like Peaky Blinders, The Sopranos, Sons of Anarchy, that kind of vibe and energy to it. So getting into my thoughts on Jade Legacy, the conclusion of the series. First, I will talk non-spoilery stuff. However, if you have not read Jade City and Jade War both, it could potentially be spoilery because I will mention names. So it could reveal like characters that have lived or not lived or whatever. If you're very sensitive to anything that even is spoilery in that regard, then maybe don't even watch the non-spoilery portion. But if you're okay with just hearing the names or you have read Jade City and Jade War, I'm not going to say anything that actually spoils plot points and whatnot of Jade Legacy. So for the characters, obviously at this point, we know the characters quite well. I was very aggravated with Hilo at the beginning. The first handful of chapters, I was mad. I was mad at Hilo. We were fighting. Just how he was handling the situation with Wen, her accident, near death at the end of Jade War, how he was handling the aftermath of that and everything, I was not a fan. And then I was incredibly aggravated with Shay for her romantic life choices that she was making. Unamused. Very unamused. I don't love how that all played out. Andon is perfection. I love Andon, and I'm just so glad that we got to see him coming into his own and being more self-assured as a person. Barrow. Fucking Barrow. Just this fucking guy. I really enjoyed getting to know the next generation, Hilo and Wen's children in particular. That was just, I don't know, I really enjoyed that aspect of this novel. The writing style, Fonda Lee, for me, has a very kind of straight to the point writing style for the most part. I would not say that her prose, that her writing is particularly flowery or anything like that, metaphorical. It's just like, here's what's happening, here's what's going on, this might be what a character thinks, etc., etc. It makes it move along pretty quickly for me. But it also means that emotional moments, I feel like she does them really well because it's like this sudden emotional blow delivered point blank to a character. And you're just like, oh God, oh Jesus. It's just like a blunt force impact of emotional trauma. And it just guts me when she does that. So the plot and the pacing, just like the first 2 books, this just has been consistent throughout this trilogy. The first half, I feel, goes pretty slowly. And then the second half is like, oh shit, I'm on a fucking emotional roller coaster. And it's like she builds the tension and builds my impatience in the first half. Like, it's not, I don't want to make it sound like the first half is unenjoyable for me, or that I'm just like, oh, I don't care. Can we get on with it? I care. I care about what's going on. I'm very curious. I want to keep reading. But it's a slower pacing and not as much stuff is happening plot-wise and whatnot. And she just builds it to the point where by halfway through, I am impatient as all fuck. I'm just like, I am ready. But then I'm not ready. Yeah, it took me like 2 solid weeks to read the first like 60-ish% of Jade Legacy. And then the final 40% I read in one afternoon. So if that tells you anything about the general pacing of her books, because it was the same for Jade City and Jade War for me, where it like took me much longer to get through the first half. I was still enjoying it. You know, it wasn't like a bad time. I wasn't dreading picking the book up. It's just when I would pick it up, I wouldn't sit there and read. And once you get to the last portion of the book, it's like you have to just sit down and just marathon that shit. And then the time jumps. So she did this in Jade City and Jade War as well, where she'll do little time jumps. And in those 2 books, it's not specified other than in context in the text of the book. So say the big event happens in chapter 5, some big thing. And then chapter 6 is like a little bit of the aftermath right after it. One of the characters like, oh, talking about it, whatever. And then chapter 7 will be some character talking to another one, and they'll be like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. When that big event happened 6 months ago, yada, yada. And you're like, oh, okay, we skipped ahead 6 months. And she'll do like a couple weeks, a few months. I do think a couple times she did like 6 months or so, maybe more. But it's generally like within a year. But she'll do these time jumps. In this book, in Jade Legacy, we cover around 20 years. So there are some huge time jumps that happen. And she does specify, though, when there is a giant time jump like that, the start of a chapter will say, you know, whatever year we're in. And so you see that there's, oh shit, okay, we just skipped ahead like 7 years. All right. That is the only thing that made me kind of drop my rating down slightly for this. Don't worry, it's still a very high rating for me. But I think she could have made this series into a 4, 5, 6 book series and been satisfying. Because there are all these time jumps. If she had just spent more time with these events and let it breathe a little bit more, we could have gotten to know the younger generation even more, which I guess wasn't really the point of the series or of the book. The point was following these siblings at the start of Jade City and like their choices and their character growth. But like in this one, we did get quite a bit of the next generation. And I would have enjoyed personally getting to know them more, getting to know them a little bit better, because there's like one that we get to know pretty well, and then one that we sort of get to know, and then like there's a couple that like we just don't really, they're there and like we hear about them a little bit, we kind of see what their personality is, but we don't spend very much time with them. I personally would have really liked to do that. It kind of made the book feel like I was fast forwarding or skimming through like a long movie or a TV show. You know what I mean? So it was a little bit of a weird pacing thing. I didn't hate it. I wasn't super pissed about it. I don't mind time jumps as long as it's like clear. But like thinking back on it, it did make me feel kind of like I was just like skimming through or like fast forwarding, you know? So I ended up giving this book 4.5 Pushinicorns. Very high, like I said, but I think for me personally, if it had been extended into another book or two a little bit more and we hadn't fast forwarded so much in this one, I personally would have enjoyed it a little bit more. I still was very happy with this conclusion. There's one particular thing that I didn't think I would be happy with if it happened. I was like, man, if she doesn't do this thing, I'm gonna be pissed and I'm gonna riot in the streets. And I wasn't as pissed as I thought I would be. I was kind of like, you know, she made it make sense. Yeah, and like the final scene, I feel like is surprisingly, if you read it or you read it, you'll know. Surprisingly, I was really happy with that final scene. And oh my God, I feel like they've talked about making this into a TV show, right? I don't know if it's like official and confirmed and like actually gonna happen or not, but God, it would make such a good TV show if they do it well. And in a TV show, they could extend, you know, this final book and delve into it a little bit more and make it last like several seasons. Because like I said, it's like 20 fucking years that we cover. So I really hope if they do officially do it, God, I hope they do it well and that it is a well-made show because it could be so fucking iconic. Okay, now it is time for my spoilery thoughts on a few things. So if you have not read it and you plan on reading it, step away. Jade Legacy spoilers incoming. So okay, at the beginning, Hilo being a straight up dick to Wen, I was pissed. Like, I get it, your pride, and like she almost got herself fucking killed because she lied and was going behind your back, and that is like a big damn deal to you. But be happy that she's fucking alive, bro? What the hell? Like, what the hell? I was so mad at him that he was being so standoffish, hot and cold. Like, grow up, get over here. Like, for years afterward. It wasn't just like, if it was only in the, you know, first few months, 6 months after she almost died, I can understand that. You're coping, you're working through your emotions. That's a lot, you know, you're very upset with her. I get it. But years later, get the fuck over yourself. I was so pissed. So I was very happy that that did not last for much longer and that he came around and they reconciled and reconnected and then they were Hilo and Wen again because I love Hilo and Wen together. And yeah, Shay and Woon fucking hated it. I hate that so much. Ugh, it's like whatever, but like I just really didn't like that. I mean, and I guess that's kind of the thing with this series though. These characters that we're following, they're not always great people. Sometimes they're terrible people. And selfish and whatever. And Shay was just unbelievably fucking self-centered with that whole situation with Woon. Because in Jade War, he tried to quit because he's like, I have feelings for you. We both know like what's going on here. I can't keep working for you, working so closely with you. And she selfishly was like, no, please just give me one more year. I get it, but like, I need you. Like career-wise, like I need you. I need your advice. And so he sacrificed and stayed, but then in the meantime, he ended up staying a little longer, being okay with his feeling, getting a little distance with his feelings for her, met someone else, married someone else, whatever. And then years into his marriage, Shay starts having feelings for him randomly. Bitch, what the fuck? And then is cool with like him cheating on his wife with her and like starting a little affair. I was just so fucking annoyed with her. Like, what is your problem? I was so happy when because then he was divorcing her, she was divorcing him. But when his wife or ex-wife told Shay basically to fuck off and die, I was like, ha! Yeah, I mean, I don't blame her at all. Like, just what a self-centered fucking bitch. Oh my God, I was so pissed. I'm sorry if you love Shay. I like her too, but Jesus Christ, I was so irritated with that. I loved seeing Hilo being a pretty great dad. I really enjoy that he always was like trying to be as honest as possible with his kids. I mean, he told Nico that he executed his mother when he was like, what, 8 or 9 or something like that. Like, I like that he tries to shield them when they're very, very young as much as possible. because they won't understand certain things. But then, like, once he thinks they will understand, I appreciate that he was, like, honest with them and, like, trusted them with the truth of things and the truth of the way of the world, you know? And the fact that he had a son, his blood son was a stone eye, and he always did everything he could to make sure that Rue never felt less than, that he never felt like he didn't matter or wasn't as important as other members of the family. And that was just so precious to see. I loved it. And that Nico, even though he made it very clear, like, I'm not actually your father, out of respect for Lan, and he was like, that is your actual father, but also totally treated him like his son. And, you know, he called him dad and, like, all the things. And I really like that. He didn't always make all the right choices with his kids, but I feel like overall, especially for what a fucked up person he is, he did a pretty good job being a really great dad. And yeah, Andon, like I said, I loved seeing him come more into his own, being more self-assured, being more certain of his place in the family, in the clan, not always second guessing and questioning and like, oh, do I even matter? Like, he became an adult, a grown-ass man. And I loved his arc with this, seeing him be like the doctor, the clan, the Greenbone doctor, and being more of like a leadership role or like an advisor role to Hilo. Like, he was his most trusted person. And then seeing him become, like, get into the politics towards the end, I thought, like, that made total sense and was really cool to see. And then I was so glad he got a happy ending with a romance, because that was always something he wanted in Jade City and Jade War. He really wanted that, and he pined for it, and he yearned for it, but he just never really got it. And I was just really happy to see that he got that. Like, a happy, healthy, loving relationship that the family approved of and all of that. I thought it was really nice. I really wish, like I was saying, I wish we got to know the younger generation more. Jaya is like a prime example. I loved Jaya. What we got of her, she's like a little mini Hilo, 100%. And I don't know, I just, the little bits we did see of her, I really enjoyed. And I wish we had gotten to know her more. It wasn't like necessary, because nothing happened with her where like you needed a deep emotional impact or a deep connection with her. But I don't know, I just liked her, and I would have liked to get to know her more. And like the cousins, get to know the cousins a little bit more, and Shay's daughter, even though she was like not part of the clan or whatever. But I don't know, I just think it would have been fun to see a little bit more of that. So, Rue. I was loving Rue's character development. Like I said, seeing Hilo be such a good dad to him being a stone eye, but always feeling very loved and valued in the family and in the clan. And like, Hilo always telling him, like, look at Andon, look at Uncle Andon. He isn't a Greenbone warrior, and he still does important things in the clan. Like, if that's what you want to do, stuff within the clan, like, there's a place for you. Your mother is the pillar, man. She's a stone eye. Like, you know, there's things you can do with your life. And him going off to college and like learning more about the world. And I was loving like seeing him realize that even though he's a stone eye and there is like, that's a marginalized group in this world and their culture, but he also is the son of the pillar of the clan, of one of the main clans. So he had a certain level of privilege, and he was shielded from a lot of the discrimination that stone eyes receive in regular life. And he was realizing this and realizing like, oh my God, I can really use this privilege and use my platform to help other stone eyes and to help non-greenbones. Like, I can do a lot. Like, this is awesome. And I was just like, oh my God, I love him. He's so great. Like, he's so great. And then during the scene at the bar, when he got set up, I was so excited at first. Like, when the Coben guy, like, came in and started beating him up, and then Rue was like, I'm Rue, you know, call Rue, whatever, blah, blah, like, don't fucking mess with me, stop it, like, what are you doing? And the guy was like, oh, shit. And he so quickly put the pieces together and realized what was happening. And then when he's like, I challenge you to a clean blade, and he's like, not you, to the no-peak guy, but to the, what was his name, Torundo? the bartender that set him up. He's like, no, you. I was like, oh, yes, thank God. Like, he's smart, he's clever, he's realizing, and like, he's been trained martially, you know, so he can fight. And when it happened and the dude slit his throat, I legit screamed. Like, I screamed at the book and I stopped reading. I started crying almost immediately. And I was like, I don't want to read. I don't want to keep reading. I was so upset. Oh my, I'm getting teary-eyed right now. Because, oh my God, I was so mad. I was like, no! What the fuck? Like, oh my God, gut-wrenching. Upset. So upset. And then the family learning about it and just, like, Hilo just going blank and just shutting down entirely. Whoo! Oh my God. It was too much. Heartbreak. Just pure heartbreak. And then Nico coming back because he had been off being a mercenary or whatever, and him coming back at the funeral, like, oh my God. So I expected Hilo to die. I was fully prepared. I thought he was going to die really early on. I thought he was going to die. I thought the book was going to be like the first few chapters following like Hilo, Shay, and Andon, and like one of them or a couple of them were going to die. And then the rest of the book was going to be like a big time jump and following the next generation. That's what I thought it was going to be. It wasn't that. And it wasn't until the very end that Hilo died. But so when that happened, I mean, there was a lot of foreshadowing that like something was up. Like Mata, we saw the conversation that Iwe guy was like, oh, we're ready. And I was like, oh shit, oh, they're gonna do something. They're gonna fucking do something. And then like Hilo was like all nervous and like something didn't feel right. And like, Lot realized that Mata wasn't at the fucking house and she had escaped. So I was like, oh fuck, here it's coming. And then when it happened, it was like a little bit like, oh man, just because again, how Fonda Lee writes the shit. She wrote that, like, it's that thing happening, like Hilo getting shot from like Shay's perspective kind of, and like talking about Shay forever remembering that moment when she saw Hilo slump down and whatever. So it's like this woman watching her brother get shot and die, and so it's like a little bit emotional, but I really wasn't like hit by that. Like I said, with Rue, as soon as that guy pulled the knife and did the thing, I was like, no, oh my, I was like crying. But with Hilo, I wasn't initially. I was kind of like, here it is. Like, I knew it was going to come. But again, the way Fonda Lee writes the aftermath of this shit, when just collapsing and breaking down and like Andon learning about it and just, and I was like getting a little teary-eyed from those things. I was kind of like, and then they got him stabilized, but Andon was like, he's going to die. He's not going to last that much longer, but like he's okay for right now. And then he wanted to talk to Shay. And when he told Shay, or asked her, is there anything you want me to tell Lan? I lost it. I was like, oh no, he's dying. And oh my God. I'm gonna cry all over again. It was just, she writes it so well. Like I said, it's like a blunt force, like emotional trauma. She doesn't like pussyfoot around it. There's not this like, ooh, we're weaving in, sad moment. It's just like, bam, sad thing. And you're like, fuck, oh God, damn it. So yeah, that broke me a little bit. Just like I said, the aftermath of it. At the very end, I was a little bit annoyed that they just exiled Mata. Like, just, can we kill the woman? Can we fucking kill her, please? Like, why? Why is she untouchable? Just fucking kill her. I was so annoyed when Shay didn't fucking kill her. And then when I got, like, she thought Hilo was dead, and because that was when the bomb went off. And so she was like, oh, there's going to be chaos. We need one strong clan leader at least. I got it, whatever. But then when they realized Hilo was alive and I was still there, I'm like, just fucking kill her. Kill her and the old man. Kill them both. Please, for the love of God, kill them. Would have solved their fucking problem because she wouldn't have killed fucking Hilo later. But then the Mountain Clan probably wouldn't have like come down the way that it did because she wouldn't have been there for them to betray and, exposed or whatever. But yeah, I was a little annoyed. I'm like, can we just fucking kill her? Like, Jesus Christ, just murder her. But I understand that it was kind of like the new generation doesn't have the same need for vengeance. Like, that was kind of the theme at the end for me, was like, this younger new generation, like, they don't feel the same hatred, the same grudges that the other generation had, you know? But like, Andon, just kill Ait, please. She killed so many people you love. You were there for all this shit. Kill her! But whatever. So yeah, Barrow. I really thought, I had said, I was like, if Barrow is not dead by the end of this fucking book, I am rioting in the streets. I was gonna be so pissed if he didn't fucking die. My God. And then that scene where Nico went to talk to him just because they thought he was a spy, or he was a spy, and he just wanted to get information from him to use. And then Barrow, like, revealed all and was like, I killed your dad, and I did this, and I did that. Like, oh, like, he was obviously just, like, off his rocker and ready to die. And I was like, kill him. Fucking kill him, Nico. Oh, my God. And then Nico was just like, I don't care. You're not going to goad me into murdering you, you know, staining my reputation as a Greenbone, whatever. And, like, kind of saying, like, I'm not going to let you have that. Like, if you killed my father, everything I've known about him or heard about him was that, like, he had to have made a mistake. There was a failing on his part if you managed to kill him. So, you know, you didn't kill him. His own choices killed him. And I'm not letting you have that. And I was kind of like, okay, I get it, I guess. But also, can this man fucking die? Jesus Christ. But him ending up as just this old man that's like washed up and kind of pathetic and living in the past without really a happy ending was also a little satisfying and fitting. It felt fitting. That final scene when Andon gets in the taxi cab, and they don't say that it's Barrow, but it's obviously Barrow. And he's talking about, oh, I used to be a dishwasher at the Twice Lucky and blah, blah, blah. And like, oh my God, I was just like, this is kind of perfect, actually. And then Andon's like, have a good one. I'm about to go have brunch with my family. That final scene, I just thought it was really great. I thought it was perfection. Like I said, if Barrow had gotten any kind of like happy ending, like if he had somehow gotten rich and was living, you know, off on some island somewhere, or if he had found love somehow, I would have been so pissed. Or if there was like I feel like if there had been a redemption arc for him in this, it would have felt so weird and just forced and out of place. So I'm glad she didn't do that. He was a fucking dumb, idiot cockroach of a human up until the end. And it kind of made sense. And it was kind of fitting. And that final scene, like, God, you can just see it in a TV show or a movie. Like, I could see that scene playing out, and like, oh, it was just so good. It was so good. And I got a little choked up at the end. Like, right when Andon said he was going to the Twice Lucky, I was like, oh man, it's still there. That's great. And then like they're talking about it, how old it is and whatever, and Barrow's trying to be all like, oh, I know a bunch of stuff. And Andon's just kind of like, yeah, I bet you do, whatever, anyway. And then when he said that line of like, I'm about to go have brunch with my family, I was just like, oh God, oh, at the Twice Lucky, it's their spot. So I thought it was a really great conclusion, even though I had some issues with the time jumps, and I do wish, personally, I would have been, I think, a little more satisfied as a reader if we'd gotten at least like one more book, and this had been like 2 books, a little more extended, but I also didn't hate it, wasn't mad at it. It did end up working overall, and I just thought it was a really great conclusion. That is all. I'm done yammering about Jade Legacy. If you have read it, let me know what your thoughts were. If you have not yet read it, but you are planning to, maybe let me know like what's a prediction that you have. Obviously, you would not have watched the whole spoilery portion, so yeah. Or, as always, if you don't really have anything to say, pop a little emoji down below. As always, thank you so much for your time. Hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.